Good morning, everybody. This is Delani, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about spirituality and symbolism and the coexistence between these two elements. Every faith, religion, way of life, most of it, even in atheism, there is some sense of belief that is placed upon an item. Something that is very symbolic to us. For Christians, it is the cross, Christ himself, the breaking of bread. For Hindus, there could be Shiva, Vishnu, these goddesses of great beauty. For Greeks, in the mythology, there's so much of symbolism. And so we wonder, is this symbolism powerful in itself? And how does this really help to make or break us in our daily life? Is this connected and interwoven into the fabric of what we create and what we experience? And I have to say that in my humble experience, it does. Some clients contact me for healing, and I do use symbols and things that help me to perform these healing acts. For me, it is candles, incense, or even different kinds of pebbles and stones and semi-precious stones that help me to stay focused. These items that I use have great symbolic meaning for me because it is what I have learned and it is what I have come to believe. And therefore, my faith is what really embraces this symbol. In my faith, there is a connection of spirit. Faith and spirit are very interwoven together. As in the Bible it is said, if you do not have faith, then it is hard to achieve something. But all you need is the faith of a little mustard seed, and you can. So, with what I do with my psychic readings and my life coaching, I have learned to mix both of these things together. Life is a wonderful experience that we as spiritual beings have come to embrace. We are indeed physical creatures, each having our desires and our way of life, which is again very symbolic, and yet we are such powerful spiritual beings. And in symbols, there is great power and also sometimes great destruction, depending on how we are addressing the symbol and how we see the power of this symbol to be. So, just as much as people who really know me have come to talk to me and say, Delani, could you perform a healing for me? There have been people who have not been my clients, who don't know me and just know me as just a psychic healer, have come and said, can you cast a spell? Which is kind of, ooh. Is spell casting possible? And I would say it is, because it is the equal and the opposite of that which is healing. Now, a casting of a spell, I am assuming now we are talking about negative castings, you see. It is about controlling somebody else's natural way into someone to what our desires profess it to be, or we project a sense of deep hurt or pain as a result. So the spell castings could be done for many, many reasons, and I don't do them. I don't. Simply because our journey has to be experienced in our own way. So this is something that I have learned, that each of us handle life and love in a very, very special way. And it is our own way. And it is important for each of us to experience this, because that is what we have come in this life to do. So symbolism, again, it is a projection of our faith, of our energy, of our spirit into an object, and it becomes almost divine in itself. So you could even have the praying hands. It's very powerful. I have a little praying hand on my table where I do my healing and my prayers and, communing with our spirits. And it always seems to center me into a state of calmness, into a state of appreciation and gratitude. I am grateful for all that I have and all that I experience every day, even if it is not so fun, and I do have a temper occasionally. I've worked on it now, and it's sort of calmed down, but still sometimes it raises its little head, and then I'm not too happy about it afterwards, of course. But again, the sense of well-being, a sense of peace, a sense of divine attention comes to us with these symbols. Say, for example, if you go into a church and you see Mother Mary, into a Catholic church and you see Mother Mary, and there is this sense of, I am so protected by you. And even though Christ has said, worship only Lord your God, it is important, I think, for us to realize that sometimes when we are going through a difficult thing in the human experience, it is good to have such symbols, such divine symbols that help us to go back into ourselves and bring out within us the presence of love. If symbols actually give us a state of well-being, a state of love, a state of balance, then that is not a bad thing at all. It is, in fact, a wonderful thing. It is also where symbols are connected to ritualized practices. And I was reading recently from a very, very wonderful author, and I have put the name there for you. And this author speaks of how the divine comes to us in various forms and various rituals. And so, for example, if you go to a dance theater and you watch ballerinas just swaying across the floor, and there is just a wonderful feeling that you embrace. If you go to Sri Lanka, where I come from, near India, a wonderful warm country, there's many Buddhist and Hindu rituals that are performed, and there is one place where they have what you call a perahara, which is walking of and dancing, and just many people just walking the path of the Buddha, and it's symbolic of the life that Buddha led and the joy that they have, and the rituals and the practices and the dances. And when you are in that crowd, you become a part of that energy. And so certain physical things that we have, whether it is in our hand, or whether it is in the form of an act that we perform or be a part of, in the presence of, there is always a creating of energy. There is a creating of presence. There is a creation of a shift from where we are into something else. You see? So in terms of healing, symbolism, in terms of healing, when we focus our faith and our intention into that which we are embracing in front of us, it has a lot of power. Now, it doesn't mean that everyone has the same amount of power. It's different. Some of us are blessed with healing. Some of us are blessed with passion. Some of us are blessed with running. I can't run to save my soul. I just flop. Except when I'm working out, I just flop. I don't have much stamina. So, and people like Sai Baba or, Mary Magdalene. And, these are all old symbolic stories that we hear of that which is healing and that which is not so healing. And, they bring out within us a certain thought process, a certain and oh, you see, it sort of evokes within us a certain sense of being. And it is always wonderful to be inspired by symbolism. It is a sense of oneness, a sense of inspiration, a sense of focus that comes by our faith in that symbol. So our faith is what is really the most powerful thing. The symbol is important. There needs to be some respect given to the symbol. But if we didn't have that faith that infused the symbol, then the symbol in itself doesn't really have that much power. You see? So people have asked me, are you afraid to walk in in the middle of the night, say for example, in a cemetery? And I'm like, oh no, I think it's very peaceful and it's very beautiful. And so they've asked me, are you afraid if you meet a ghost? And I said, oh no, I'll have him over for tea, So it all depends on where we are at in terms of handling that which comes into our presence, isn't it? And it is symbolic of our faith, our feelings, and our intent, how we embrace these symbols. How do we use these symbols in our daily life? Do we use it to enhance and bring love within our hearts to the outside? And does it evoke in us hope and joy and peace and well-being? And if so, then let us ask and see, is it a wonderful thing for us to have these symbols around? Even a picture of your best friend is symbolic, of your friendship with your best friend. A ring when you are married is symbolic, saying that you have a certain kind of relationship in your life and you both share a very close bond. And so these symbols are very, very powerful, but it is more powerful with the faith and also the intent of the person experiencing the symbol. So you can use symbols in a very, very productive way. If you are feeling depressed or worried or lonely, symbols can really help you to rise your energy up, you see, and bring up your vibration. You could have music playing, candles burning, just aroma of, incense. Whatever it is that you love, bring it from the outside into your experience, and therefore symbols will work for you. Symbols will work for you. And if you feel that there's any symbol out there that is upsetting or really not something you want to hear, say you've broken up with your old boyfriend and you don't want to have his picture around, then it hurts your soul. So that means that particular symbol needs to find a place of rest, at least for a while. Okay, so remove it with love, not with anger. Say, I cannot have you here now, but I will one day hopefully pray that we can be in the same place together and it will not hurt my soul anymore. So today, my dear, use your symbols, if you feel like it, to bring joy and peace and well-being into your presence, and understand that the way of love, the way of light, and the way of peace is what brings us our heaven into this form of being, which is human. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I am always available to you. Visit my website and you can call me directly from there. I will be doing a video on how I handle my readings, because I've had some strange questions coming from my new clients, so I think I'd better explain myself. So in the meantime, enjoy your symbols, and even when you have a piece of cake, know that this symbolically brings you great joy. Namaste. God bless.